Hey everybody, welcome back to my Dark Souls 2 beta footage. This is Hero as usual, and we are right back where we were in the cave, trying to get at this stupid necromancer up on his little pedestal by himself where I can't reach him. Thankfully, I picked the sorcerer class. I don't know what the fuck any other class did, but I I'm having trouble, and I've two-handed my catalyst because I've realized that two-handing the catalyst actually makes the spell stronger, and this is me just freaking out because I didn't realize that when you two-hand a catalyst and hold L1 or left shoulder button on the Xbox, you aim with the catalyst, which is really strange. It's because they didn't have the ability to do this before, and I was thinking, well, okay. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of neat. You know, learning some interesting things. You know, the spells get stronger if you two-hand the catalyst. You can aim with it now. Fantastic. Still lost all my fucking progress. So, now we gotta go all the way back to get past the waterfall, past the boss area, basically. Get into the cave, try and get the shortcut going, and get the key to get to the bonfire, just like in the middle of the, just past this bridge here, there's a little like hut thing, and inside that there's a bonfire, but yeah, you gotta get the key first. And I don't know if I've taken to running from enemies yet, but I think I just decided to run past and see how many I could, basically run away from so that they forget about me. And see, just like, I've only attracted 2 at the moment, which is much more manageable than when I allowed them to get too close to me, and I had about 4 on me at once, plus one of the big guys. So there's a red sign on the floor right there. I think this is basically actually going to be, I'll tell you how this is going to work. This episode is going to be like the last PvE sort of centric episode. And then the next one is going to be the last PvP-centric one, in which I get some really good fights going, actually, and a couple of good invasions, because it seemed like naturally when everyone was done with the beta, towards the last half hour of it, when the hard mode thing was going on, you could actually, like, get people to invade and stuff. Like, everyone's not trying to go through the level, they're more or less just waiting around bonfires or spawn points and stuff. It was basically the best time to start fighting, and I really enjoyed it, most of it. But just pick up an extra life gem. Those things, they drop fairly often. Like, I'm running pretty low now because I used, I think, most of my life gems in the Executioner's Chariot, like, boss fight thing. Oh no, I've got life gems there. Oh, I got 14 Radiant life gems. They're the better ones. I have 3 of the shit ones and 14 of the big ones. And I don't know the difference between the two. Like, I don't know if one heals at the same rate for a longer time, or if it heals more, like, if it heals more, like, over the same amount of time as the little one. I have no idea, but I didn't really notice an appreciable difference, unfortunately. So at this point, like, the life gems were whoa combo. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So at this point, the combo thing was the life gems were no different to me between each other. I think the bigger ones recovered at a slightly faster rate. Not entirely sure. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I sort of hoarded them because I thought, well, I don't know how many of these I'm going to use. I had this discussion in the last video, and I just didn't use them. And then I looked into my inventory because I was running low on the regular life gems, and I got 14 of the things. And Soul Shower, honestly, I do not know how to feel about it at the moment, because every time I've tried to use it in the beta, it's like either hit an enemy and done no damage, which I did not understand, or it's flown up into the air, come down with this little soul shower thing, and like barely anyone took any damage. Like you'll take like 20, 30 points. Maybe one enemy will take like 150 points, which is pretty good. But it's just, it hasn't proven useful enough to be taken up an attunement slot. And I suppose once I realized this, I probably should have, once I was back at the bonfire, attuned Fire Whip, which is one of the pyromancies that you can use with the catalyst that the sorcerer started with in the beta. And I should have just put that back on, because it probably would have been a little bit more useful. And I never actually saw Fire Whip, because I thought, well, I'll take a look at that later. But I never did, because I was too excited, oh, look at all the PvE, look at all the items I'm picking up, look at all the enemies, look at how cool the lighting engine looks. Everyone can kind of agree the lighting engine looks fucking awesome. And that was fucking awesome too. Knocking the Necromancer up off his little ledge and into the abyss below with the Zweihander knockback. That was brilliant. I think I decided right then and now that I was going to, right then and there, that I was going to kick some ass and take some names, because I did not really falter in this little bunch of fights here with the skeletons and the Necromancer. I wouldn't even call what we had with the Necromancer a fight. It was more like he got shoved over the edge. It was an act of God. It was beautiful. One of my other regrets with this, with the Zweihander, like in particular, is that I never used it to running attack one of the big guys, because I wanted to see what happened to them, because I know in Demon Souls it was a bit strange with the what the knockback affected, like specifically, because I know that when I used the Storm Ruler, I went, well, okay, it looks like I should be able to knock over these skeletons and stuff, because you hit something else and they go flying, like one of the standard enemies, one of the hollow equivalents in Demon Souls, hit one of them and they go fucking flying. You hit an NPC, they go flying. You hit one of the humanoid jailers in like the Tower of Latria, nothing. Little bit of damage, and then they punish you for it. So I'm so curious now, actually, as to what the Zweihander actually does to the big, to the big dudes, And I thought I didn't go down this path, but I'm just remembering that down here is the path to the big ass black phantom enemies that you don't really want to have to deal with, because if anyone else saw that video, the guy went down there and for the first time, like, he just got completely surprised because the phantoms spawned in and they just completely annihilated him. Like, he got like one shot, and I missed a backstab again because of how the enemies were moving and stuff. You went to hit the enemies back, and because it didn't connect, it wasn't a teleport sort of thing like it is in Dark Souls, you get into that window, then I missed it again. See, when you don't just get into that window and then instantly you're home free, you've got a backstab. You got to get into that window, you've got to throw out your fist, and if it manages to hit, then you get your backstab. And I was completely wrong about where that key was before. The key was right in that little hut there. So now I can get into the... Whoa, black phantoms are here. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Run, 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 run. Run around him. And we're out. We're safe. Kind of, sort of. So I'm just running away with my tail between my legs, basically. And they're not chasing me, so... Oh well. But yeah, now that we got that key, I can actually go back to that little, house thing, open up the gate, and actually rest at the bonfire for once, which is fantastic. So I thought I had to come back here and touch that gate. Maybe it would open it up and I'd be able to kill the skeleton, but then I realized that wouldn't make any sense, because, you got to kill the skeleton on the other side and then pull the lever that he is guarding, and then that will be lifted up and you'll have a nice convenient pathway. So in we are to the bonfire. Love that effect. It looks amazing. And what am I going to be doing with my souls? I didn't level up much in the beta, I don't think. I mean, I took my strength to 17 and I took my agility up a little bit right then. But other than that, I didn't level up too much because I kind of held on to all my souls. But can we take a moment here just to look at these menus and realize that they are so fucking awful? They're so cluttered and scattered. You've got this weird grid like thing and everything's moved over to the left and the camera view changes, and you got about 50 billion categories for everything that you've got, and I didn't see an all category. Like, what if I just want to see everything? What if I want to see every weapon that I've got instead of, you know, which mace I have and which curved mace I have? And I know that curved mace don't actually exist, but it's like Stockpile Thomas's inventory thing in Demon Souls, except on you, and much more convoluted, and much less useful, and forced upon you. There was no menu option that I could see where you could change what like went on in the actual menus, like for you to equip stuff and everything, it was really frustrating actually, because it looked like such. I didn't think it looked that bad at first, but when I was actually trying to navigate shit and find out, you know, where my life gems were, and you know where my cracked red eye orbs were, and you know where was that weapon I picked up ages ago, you know, is it in this category, in this one, in this one? You just don't know, and it's really frustrating to go through something like that. I wish that it would change. I wish that From would completely change how the menu system works in this. Bring it back to more something like the original Dark Souls and Demon Souls. But I know they won't. I know they won't. Because that kind of thing, that was decided long ago. That kind of thing, just like with the interface and stuff, that was decided long ago. And they've spent a while now trying to get everything to sort into the right places and all that shit. They're not going to change that easily. So it's the things like the numbers, you know, the percentages and stuff that they can change really easily that are going to change before the game comes out. Like poise. Poise is going to actually, hopefully, work when the game comes out, so that, you know, slower rolling builds and stuff can use slower weapons, but, you know, still tank a hit or two instead of, you know, sort of backing off, you know, having to, you know, choose their moments really, really, really well. Because otherwise, if you're facing a fast enemy and you flinch every time you get hit, no matter what part of the animation you're of, you know, striking weapon you're in, fucking hell, English, then, you know, like, you need poise to work, basically. And that's like a hidden mechanic, you know. There's nothing, you know, in the game. There's no textures being built for it, no models and stuff. There's nothing like that. So it's easily changed. Relative to everything else, it is easily changed. And I missed my backstab there, somehow. I'm trying to get these running attacks in because it's really powerful and it, you know, knocks an enemy away, possibly off the cliff here, but it also actually manages to, like, do a fuck ton of damage as well. So I reached then for a word, and I failed the backstab again. Fucking hell, like, what is it with failing all these backstabs? I think that maybe it's got to do with the fact that we're not on really even ground, so, you know, my fist doesn't necessarily line up to, you know, the model of the enemy's back. And I didn't once get backstabbed by a like one of these enemies during the beta, but I know that it's possible because I saw in one of the videos that came out from Japan that one of the players actually got backstabbed by one of the rogues and like lifted him up off the ground and backstabbing him everything, like with the spear backstab animation, which looks fucking awesome, by the way. Now I'm getting a little bit more confident with this area. You know, naturally, once you've been through an area before, suddenly you can play it a little bit better the next time you see it. You know, so you see, last time when I jumped onto that ledge, I sort of struggled with, you know, getting the guy away from me for a bit, but that time I was able to just run, jump, and plunging attack onto the enemy because I knew that nothing else was actually up there to hurt me, and I knew how to tackle the situation. Now, we are heading into the cave one more time, I think so. We're heading into the cave, yep. Okay, we've just passed the boss right by. So, in this cave, obviously, we just want the shortcut. And I'm not entirely sure why I really want the shortcut at this point, because it was probably about 2 hours into the beta at this point, just because, you know, I took my time, I progressed as I wanted to, that kind of thing. And I didn't really need the shortcut, I don't think, in order to get to this point again. But I thought that it might be a good idea just in case the skeleton lords gave me any trouble, because at that point I didn't know what the boss actually was. So my train of thought was like, well, what if I get through the door and get kind of insta-killed or something, like how I did. Well, I didn't get insta-killed, but like when I went into the chariot boss fight and I didn't know that you couldn't really roll through, you know, the chariot as it went past and stuff, and I just died because of that, you know, not knowing that kind of stuff. So I thought, hey, yeah, I'll go get the shortcut, and then, you know, next time I have to come up here, I won't have to go through all of the enemies and stuff. I just have to go into that little cave and then go through to hit the, or not even hit the lever, just go through and end up right next to the waterfall again, because it's a pretty substantial shortcut once you think about it, because you only have to fight like a necromancer and 4 or 5 skeletons before you get to this part again. And if you come through this cave again, you have to fight about 4 or 5 skeletons more, but you can just leave the necromancer alone as well, or you can just run right through, because that was always a completely valid strategy for most of Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and it feels like it's staying mostly the same with this one, because you can pretty much run past any enemy. It's only a matter of if they will chase you or not, if they're fast enough to chase you out of their designated zones. Finally, we hit the lever, we've activated the shortcut, we won't be coming back to this cave anymore. Fantastic. So, right now, I'm thinking, right, time to go back and fight the boss. No Estus flasks. I have some heal miracles and stuff. 4 radiant life gems. Why the fuck not? Let's go. And I just want to say, this fight looks awesome. With the new lighting engine and stuff, the reflections on the water, I am actually surprised that this kind of an image can come through on, you know, a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It looks really nice, I think. I mean, once you look a bit closer, yeah, the textures on the ground and the walls and stuff are, you know, not the highest resolution and everything, but the game runs at 30 frames per second most of the time. Yeah, there were a few drops, but yeah, this fight looks nice. But you notice something a bit different about this fight to other boss fights that we've had in the past, because we're fighting enemies. We're fighting more than one enemy in a boss fight. I mean, this happened with Nito and stuff, but it wasn't to this degree, because the boss of this one is actually made up of 3 separate skeletons. And how you beat this boss is by killing, you know, each lord separately. Every lord seems to have a different theme to it. One's a sorcerer and he launches spells at you. One's a melee guy, and I think the other one's another melee guy, but he's a little bit more aggressive or something. And once you kill them, they sort of sink back into the ground, and it takes away from the total life bar, but like some sort of magic or something comes out of them, goes into the ground, and skeletons, like skeleton themed enemies, rise up out of the ground, and as you kill them, it takes away from the collective life bar as well, which is really, it's a cool idea. I really like it, but it's a bit strange because this isn't really a boss, you know, like I've gone on this tangent before. It doesn't feel like an actual boss. Like, it feels like the boss wasn't good enough, so we added some flunkies as well for you to have to take care of, like these skeletons. This just reminds me of the Nito fight all over again. So yeah, each of the lords, when you kill them, they seem to summon a particular type of skeleton, and this one just has the normal sword and board ones, and the other ones, I think they were sword and board, but they had some armor as well, and I think they had S-stocks and stuff. Oh no, this one has an S-stock. But the other one, the next one, it's pretty fucking evil. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't want you to judge. Let's see, so we are heading on to the last skeleton lord. I am doing much better at this point. I'm doing much better than I thought I would, because I hadn't seen this boss before. This is my first time tackling it, but it's sort of made a little easier, I think, by the fact that, again, you're not really fighting a real boss. You are basically just trying to kill some normal enemies and stuff, and some slightly bigger normal enemies that are kind of pansies, actually. The skeleton lords themselves, they're kind of too tall to hit you, and they don't have very good aim, and they actually are affected by knockback, which is really cool. They do have some good invincibility frames in their dodges, at least, but you see what I mean? Like, he just swung over my head a couple of times. So I killed the last skeleton lord and I went, right, boss fight's finished, right? No. So I got the soul greatsword out, because, oh shit, the final wave of enemies, bone wheel skeletons. Not in my worst nightmare would I have expected bone wheel skeletons. This is truly horrible, and I kind of understood some of the comments that I'd seen on YouTube up to this point when I saw this, because fuck, there's like 4 or 5 of them, and if you don't get 1 or 2 on the wake up, then you're going to be harassed by them constantly. And I'm going to thank From Software as well for providing at least the towers, like the pillars and stuff around the boss arena, because it lets you kite them around and get them stuck on things. This is the very last bone wheel skeleton there. Smack. They even get affected by the knockback, which is really nice. Victory achieved. We are done with the Skeleton Lord boss fight on the very first try. Unfortunately, my armor setup looks kind of stupid at the moment, but I was just trying to, you know, get some nice poise going. But that's the end of the PvE session, really. So, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, in which we will go back to the bonfire, do some other things, and then get some nice PvP action going on. And then we might go on a little murdering spree as well. So I'll see you in the next video.